You get off of Delmarva and you are dealing with high-speed highways, interstates, freeways, life in the fast lane. Well, today we want to focus on life in the past lane. And here to help us make that connection is historian Mike Dixon. Mike, thank you so much for joining us again.
Well, thank you for having me.
It's good to have you. Just life in the past lane. I like that.
Well, good.
You're talking back roads in Delaware. There's one or two.
Oh, there's at least one or two. There are dozens. You know, when you come down to down the shore, down to Sussex County or down to Rehoboth or whatever, and you're stuck on Route 1 and the traffic's bumping along, or you get down in the traffic light section, the summer one day before summer's over, get off the highway. Take one of those country roads. You know how much discovery of the past waits you as you amble through enjoyable places like Millville or Milford or whatever the town is that you've selected. It's a fascinating exploration of the past that so surrounds us here, Jimmy.
So they are more than just lines on a map. Mm-hmm. What kind of stories have you found associated with roads?
Well, you know, the one thing about roads is it's the story of what brought our communities about. And that's something I study on the professional side, which is really what brought me to this subject. Why do communities come about? Why did some place in the region, on the peninsula, get settled? It's all about transportation. Now, remember, this is Delmarva, so we've got water all around us. So first it was about rivers and the bay and the ocean. And then those things called railroads come in the 1850s down this way. And then the 20th century, we had dirt roads, farm roads, brings us modern highways. And depending on where those roads went, communities prospered and grew and got bigger. Maybe they stayed the same, or maybe they kind of disappeared, became ghost towns.
Right. I have to admit, one day I was driving with my son, and I looked up, and I saw a sign for a road that said, "This way." And that was the name of the road, this way. Can you come up with any road names?
I sure can, yeah. So there's one called Thankless Lane. Now, why and it's a county road. Thankless Lane, why that? And so the records weren't going to help me, but you know, I started knocking on some farmhouse doors like I like to do, because I like to talk to people. That's how I find out stories. And the old gentleman who'd lived there, for his family had lived there, he says, yeah, I'll tell you why it was Thankless Lane. It said it used to be our private road before the county brought it, and people would use it as a shortcut, and they would leave the farm gate open and our cattle would get loose, so we started calling it Thankless Lane. And then the county bought it.
Oh my goodness!
So look at the names of roads. You know, as you travel around, because there's some reason. There's usually a history behind of those, and it is a leisurely trip in this world when the interstates are backed up, as you started talking, or Route 1's backed up, or the traffic into Rehoboth. Yeah. It's a good way to.
Don't get in a hurry. Take your time, look around, see what you find.
And you will find lots to hold your attention, Jimmy.
Anything else stand out in your mind?
No, right now that's about the only one I can think of.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one. Okay, so what? Mike, I got to tell you, we're talking roads here. We're talking back roads. Why in the world would you want to investigate back roads?
Well, because it's what causes our communities to come about, Jimmy. And it lets me kind of look at them, see what's happening. And you know, there's such stories around those roads. I mean, just like we were talking about Thankless Lane. Every one of these communities was settled because of either a road, a river. Look at how many of our places were settled because of being ahead of the river. Yeah. And the other thing is, I guess another reason for doing the talk, I really want to encourage people to get out of their car, get off the fast lane, get off, as you said, to start, get off the highway, and get out and walk around these places like Selbyville and Dagsboro and Berlin, and discover the history that's there. So life in the past lane. Yeah.
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot going on.
Mike, thank you again for making us stop and look around.
Right.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Historian Mike Dixon.